What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, back with some more boxing. Now, as you guys can tell by the title, Juan Manuel Marquez and Timothy Bradley have top ranked by the balls. Some of you guys are going to instantly see this, oh, this is outrageous, and dislike it. Go for it. The reason I say that is because Pacquiao, Team Pacquiao, Bob Arum, they're in a very, very unique situation that they haven't been in for pretty much Pacquiao's whole career with top rank. And that's, his list is very short of possible opponents. Now, God forbid they think outside the box or decide to swallow pride and work with another promotional company like Mayweather Promotions or Golden Boy. But I haven't seen any indication that that will happen in the near future. So it's back to square one. And the fact of the matter is, for one reason or another, Pacquiao does not have many options. I'm sure Michael Conks knows this, Arum, Pacquiao. They all know this. He doesn't really have many options to fight. Bob Arum recently stated in an interview that Robert Guerrero, Yuriorkis Gamboa is not part of the plan. Those names weren't really discussed, I guess, for a possible comeback fight in April with Pacquiao. Now, I did a video, and I was hearing that Gamboa was a name that came up. We all heard that Guerrero was a name that came up. So who knows? This is Bob Arum. He's a promoter. Obviously, he might have heard the outcry and shot those rumors down. And plus, I never said that Gamboa was going to fight him in April. I just heard his name was being mentioned. Anyway, bottom line, Pacquiao does not have many options. He has a good resume. Some of the guys he beat, a fight with him no longer makes sense. At one point, it was a Cotto rematch. They both have the same trainer now, Freddie Roach. Plus, Cotto's looking towards a Sergio Martinez fight, maybe later down the line, a Canelo fight, different weight divisions. So that doesn't look likely. You have Josh Clottey, who virtually disappeared, like Where's Waldo and shit, after the Pacquiao fight. I heard he resurfaced, and I think he had a fight at 154. Plus, he didn't do anything to warrant a rematch. He was just blocking all day. I don't know if you guys ever played Street Fighter, but sometimes I'd be playing against my friends, against Street Fighter 2, and I would just be in the corner of the screen blocking. They would try to do all these uppercuts and crazy special moves and sonic booms and shit, and I would just block. And then their hands would get tired, and then I would just fuck them up. But that's really what Clottey did in the Pacquiao fight. I don't know if he was taking a dive or what, but he did nothing. So that's not likely. So unless they have this prodigy who's just ready to move through the ranks, or they sign somebody like ASAP, Pacquiao doesn't have many options. They're talking about him fighting his potentially fighting his stablemate friend, Ruslan Provodnikov, who has the same fucking trainer as him. And then you have Timothy Bradley and Marquez, which is the title of this video. Now, the reason Marquez and Bradley has top rank by the balls is because they're really in the driver's seat. They've put themselves and aligned themselves with smart business moves in a position where they have some leverage. Bradley, we'll start with him. So-called boring fighter to some people. He's far removed from the Casamayor days where he's fighting the washed-up Casamayor. And to be perfectly honest, around that time when he fought Casamayor, I was like, he's not all that. Like, I wasn't super big on Bradley. But you know what? This is boxing. And when someone shows and proves time and time again why they're gifted, it's like you have to bow down. And Bradley earned my respect. Fight after fight, taking on these fights, fighting Pacquiao with rolled ankles or broken ankles or whatever the fuck was wrong with him. The Ruslan Provodnikov fighting dumb and still not getting knocked out, still being on the ropes, out on your feet, swinging back, to fighting Marquez and outboxing a counterpuncher. I mean, he's showing you time and time again why he's a great athlete. Devin Alexander, a young Devin Alexander, they were both talking shit. If you guys remember boxing back then, they had a lot of shit, a lot of animosity to talk, and he schooled him, and he has a very solid resume. So Bradley has definitely put himself in the winner's circle and in a position where he could get his demands, and they almost have no choice but to meet his demands, unless they're trying to make Jesse Vargas versus Pacquiao. I don't really see many entertaining fights, and especially if you look at the chronological order of things. Bradley decided to fight Marquez, which was a hell of a business move for both fighters. Because now, based on how that first fight ended, neither one got destroyed. Some people thought it was closer than others. I thought Bradley outboxed the shit out of Marquez. But needless to say, I'm a fan of both. And nobody got demolished to the point where a rematch makes no sense. So they can go in that direction and get a rematch. And if I'm not mistaken, the Bradley and Marquez pay-per-view numbers weren't that much different than Pacquiao's pay-per-view numbers with Rios. So Pacquiao's coming off of the Rios upsetting numbers. They did like 400 to 500,000 pay-per-view buys. It's supposed to be a big deal in Macau, China, and they had Yao Ming pictures and press conferences, and it was supposed to be a bigger event than it was. So Pacquiao's also battling with low pay-per-view numbers, tax problems, and then two of his opponents have other fights that they could actually fight. Bradley could rematch Ruslan Provodnikov himself or fight Marquez and be good. Pacquiao really needs Bradley, or he needs Marquez. And Marquez has been surprisingly stern with the fact of him saying, I don't want to fight Pacquiao a fifth time. The chapter is closed and I'm content with how the fourth fight ended. I honestly thought he might be possibly playing hardball, and he didn't want to, he was having a poker face in case the fifth fight, but I honestly thought a fifth fight would be made. But in every interview I've seen, all the statements he's releasing, Marquez seems pretty solid and stern that he doesn't want to fight Pacquiao. And then he also went on and said he doesn't want to fight Ruslan Provodnikov. So just based on the ripples in the pond and the chronological order, Pacquiao's in a tough spot because he has fights with people that you kind of have to give into their demands, i.e. Bradley or Marquez, and pay them what they want or whatever the situation is. Or he can fight somebody who makes utterly no sense, like a Jesse Vargas, or a fight that might not even make that much money, like a Jesse Vargas. That fight I don't think would do astronomical numbers based on Jesse Vargas not really having much of a fan base. So he's in a tough spot. Now, he can fight Ruslan Provodnikov. We'll see what the numbers do. It's not a bad fight. But to me, it doesn't prove much for Pacquiao's sake. If he beats him, Bradley already beat him. Now, granted, Bradley struggled at beating him because he fought dumb. But Bradley already has a win over him. So it's really fighting a fighter that Bradley already fought. Plus, Ruslan is bouncing from 140 to 147. And he only did it, I think, one time. And that was against Bradley. So if he fights him at 147, what is that really proving? I think it's a dangerous fight for him because Ruslan is relentless and destructive. But Pacquiao doesn't have many options. And let's say Pacquiao fights Ruslan, knocks his head off. Now you're back to square one. Who are you going to fight next? Bradley, Marquez, or cross over the pond and fight a a Golden Boy fighter? So I really think Bradley and Marquez, they've aligned and made some proper business moves. Now they could call the shots and really get their demands met based on the turn of events. And another spoiler was Ruslan Provodnikov beating Mike Alvarado. Now, Mike Alvarado beat Brandon Rios and should have gotten the Pacquiao fight, but they chose to pick Brandon Rios, who came off of the loss, and then Pacquiao already ran through him. Now, the fact that Ruslan Provodnikov beat Alvarado, that really eliminated another possible option, because let's say Alvarado beat Ruslan Provodnikov. I guarantee you they would be talking about Mike Alvarado versus Pacquiao right now. The reason they are not is because he got destroyed by Ruslan Provodnikov. And Ruslan came on too strong and he just lost. So he's off of a loss. So that's not a good look for Pacquiao to fight him. So he's going to have to do something, maybe avenge his loss to that, or have a trilogy with Brandon Rios and possibly beat him convincingly before a fight like that could be made. So it's really slim pickings out there for Pacquiao. Let me know what you guys think. I think Bradley and Marquez definitely have a lot of bargaining chips and a lot of negotiating power. Let me know what you think. As always, hate, comment, or subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.